Hello, everyone. We're here again at another episode of 3 Vegas, and we have a beautiful in-studio guest. Aiyana here is going to be our guest on the program that all three of us are going to read for today. So she's going to concentrate on her issue in just a minute. In the meantime, how do you be on 3? And can you be in studio? Yes, you can. You just have to ask us nicely and go to www.three.vegas and connect on the How to Be on 3 page, fill out the little form. It'll come to us and we'll let you know when we're doing our next tapings. So we would love to have you on the program. John here at WWDBTV is what makes this program possible. I'd like to introduce Tammie Roitman, our clinical and intuitive hypnotherapist, Kris Gray, our intuitive master astrologer, and me, I'm your intuitive tarot consultant. We're going to be back in just a minute right after this.
I'm Kris Gray, the Astro Cowgirl. You may have seen me on 3 Vegas, the mystical series featuring 3 intuitives, Tammie Roitman, an intuitive hypnotherapist, myself, a master astrologer, and of course our host, Mystic Mona, a tarot consultant. Each of us taps into our own modality to bring you clarity and guidance. If you'd like to experience it for yourself, you can visit www.3.vegas to book a one-on-one session to connect with us individually, or even submit to be a guest on an upcoming episode. Again, that's www.three.vegas. You can also find me at VegasAstrology.com, where I share insightful monthly forecasts. Thank you for joining us every week on WWDBTV.com for a new episode of 3 Vegas. And as always, a special thanks to John Stiles at WWDBTV for hosting our program. Many blessings, and I look forward to helping you unlock your cosmic potential.
Welcome back. We're here with Aiyana, and she's going to ask her question. Now, the way this works is you're going to ask your question, and then you're going to choose one of us to answer the question first. Then after she's done answering the question, you're going to choose the second person, and then by default, whoever's left over is going to answer your question last. So what is your question for us today?
So my question is like a little broad. I kind of just want to know, like, in the next couple of years, like my career path, like colleges, and then also just like relationships, like friendships and things like that.
Okay, so who do you want to have address your issue first?
I'll have Tammie go first.
Did they put you up to that?
Maybe.
Yeah. See how they are? So you're a very interesting healer.
Okay.
Not too many that I've come across a few in my practice just to get them moved in that direction, but not many. You are like a great observer, and you don't have to experience what a lot of people have to experience, because you can just watch the situation and get the knowledge from that and not experience it yourself. And that causes a little bit of jealousy with people around you, because it's not anything that you do, but they know that you can do that and they have to experience this. So there's a little bit of a jealousy that your energy and your vibration is so high that all you have to do is watch the experience and know what to take from it, and then kind of move on from there. When it comes to college, I think you're going to find more people like you, not at exactly your level, but more people that are in your age group that are here to do a certain type of thing on the earth. And you'll come together and you'll make alliances, actually, maybe 3 or 4 solid alliances. And I think you guys are going to come together and you're going to create something unique that's going to help your age group do what they actually need to do on the earth, because you guys are the healers of the earth. And then you have younger kids that are even more awakened and more of the healers. Your job is to help them, but also start in the healing process. Like my generation, our generation is the awakeners. So we're to wake everybody that's still our age kind of up and help them in that direction. But your group is already awakened, and the group before you, they were given the task of coming together and being able to work like a group. But that hadn't happened really. That's what all the collaboration of video games were, and the social groups online were. But I don't know what happened with that. I think they'll wake up at some point, but right now they have people ahead of them and people behind them that are actually ahead of them. So it'll be interesting if your age group ends up pushing them in that type of way. Definitely you're going to get into something that's off the beaten path. It'll be created by you and this group, and it's something that hasn't been presented yet. But it's just going to come to you, and it's going to come, each part actually is going to come to each of the four, and then you're going to be talking, and someone's going to say, hey, I thought about this, and someone else is going to say, here's the next part, here's the next part, here's the next part, and then it's going to come together, and it's going to be presented, and it's going to put you guys, it's going to give you the financial freedom to do what you need to do right off the bat.
Wow. Wow. Not scary at all.
She doesn't live a lot on fear.
No, she doesn't.
She fights, I think, sometimes to be more independent, but
Yeah.
but not out of fear. Just that, listen, I need to do my own thing. I need to be uninfluenced by what you're saying or what you're doing. I need to really. It's kind of like that aspect of me. I don't want to be influenced by other people. I want to experience life as it's coming. And so that's the truth of it.
Wow.
That was-
Okay. Who's next?
I think we'll just like go down the line.
Okay, you got it.
Okay. All right.
Because
So,
she was like scribbling like crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
all right. So, Libra sun,
Mhm.
based upon your birthday, but interesting, you have the same rising sign as your mom.
Oh.
Not surprising. We see that a lot in mother-child relationships. And so that's Aries. So if you were to read a forecast for like a horoscope for Aries and even look at the traits of an Aries, you're going to resonate. But actually, you have what is called a stellium in your seventh house that rules Libra. And so stellium is several placements all in one place, and it puts a lot of emphasis and potent energy in that area of your life. And that for you is relationships. So you are very relationship oriented. Partnerships bring you a lot of stability. That's where you put a lot of energy into. So as you get older, this can be friendships, romantic and professional relationships, alliances, liaisons. I'm going to take this back to about 2023. I think you've probably had some experiences probably relating to relationships, so of any kind, that have taught you a lot of life lessons, and especially for your age. But it's so great that it happened now or when you were younger, because it gets you ahead of the curve. So you've had these life lessons that people probably don't usually experience until they're in their 20s or maybe even their 30s, but you had them at a young age. And so I love what Tammie said about you don't have to learn things the hard way. You're very observant, and that is so clear in your chart. Also, I want to touch on where you find your luck, where the universe supports you, and it's when you go off on your own direction, you blaze your own trail, when you're independent, where you stand in your own, like, this is who I am, and you don't follow others, and so you set your own path, and that's where the universe supports you. And so to hear that Tammie says that you're already doing that, like, you're just so, for your age, you're just so much ahead of just, your age, I guess I would say. So there's something very prominent in your chart, and I really, really love this for you. And I connect very strongly with your energy, with my daughter's energy. And so y'all are about the same age. She's a little older than you. But okay, so you have this placement that talks about you finding healing through serving others. And this is philanthropy. This is humanitarian work. So nonprofits, volunteering, you are supposed to step into that purpose. And what's very interesting is you have this placement that it's a placement that everyone has, but it shows up in different areas of their chart. So for some people, most people, it's very uncomfortable to step into that energy or to fulfill that purpose that's connected to this placement. I feel you're already doing it. And for you, that is humanitarian work, philanthropy, like community service, maybe bringing people together, networking, or organizations, or starting an organization or clubs where you bring people together for a very specific purpose. And this feels like humanitarian work. So I feel like there's a lot of leadership and involving in that. So maybe you create the group and you lead the charge. And so through that, doing that type of work, you receive a lot of healing. So I wanted to touch on your career. You had asked about like kind of career in college. I have some things that kind of come to me. If you were to do something connected to the past, like history, or I'm just going to throw this out there, archaeology, geology, even architecture or history, anything along those lines, but also maybe even dental. Or you have a beautiful smile, but I feel like there is maybe some interest in maybe even dentistry. But I don't want to limit you because there's other things like the geology, gemology, archaeology, anything that's kind of connected to the past, even history. Let's see, anything else that sticks out? Oh, your career is going to be I feel like you're going to start your career at a very young age. In fact, I feel like you already know what you want to do and you're already working towards it, or something that's going to build upon it, because you have a very firm foundation of like what you're good at or what you want to do. And you're just going to continue to build upon it. And it's probably going to be at an early age where you're going to find your path. And when I say early age, most kids, by the time they graduate high school, they don't know what they want to do. They don't know what they want to major in. I feel like you already have a very clear idea of what you want to do. Now, not to say that's not going to change, because our careers can evolve several times over, but I feel like you already have like this strong sense of purpose and what you want to do. But more importantly, there's connections in the world that are like, you already have connections in place that are going to help you achieve whatever it is you want. Like, you have these opportunities that are coming to you, that have already come to you, that they are going to just springboard you forward in your career. And also too, I feel like you already have some type of reputation career wise. So for some kind of work that you do.
Okay.
Pretty exciting stuff. I have a whole different take though.
Oh, okay.
I actually think that you've been coasting because you're way more capable. What you do is too easy for you. You catch on to things really fast. So you do observe and don't repeat mistakes you see other people make. Like some of those stupid stunts they do on freaking Instagram, that you would never harm yourself the way some of these people harmed themselves. You would never do that. But it's even more subtle than that. It's like if you're watching a girlfriend trying to get a boy's attention and you're like, I would never do it that way. Do you see what I mean? It's like, oh no, that's not how you do it. You just wait and see if they're interested in you. So it's the philosophy of flowers don't chase bees. Do you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And you would say that to your girlfriends. Flowers don't chase bees, right? You know, and it's really interesting. Sorry, I'm flashing on a lot of stuff, so I'm just going to say it as it comes to me. It's like back in the 50s and 60s, you know, women didn't have a whole lot of choices, mm-hmm. right? It was still pounded into a woman's mind that their highest goal was to marry well, right? Mm-hmm. So the philosophy of the smarter women were they would date lots of men. Of course, there was none of that sleeping with them thing. It was, they would date lots of men, right? And they would wait for the man that treated them the best out of all of those men they were dating. They weren't, they wouldn't necessarily, they would fall in love after the man proved themselves to her. Okay. So it was almost like they were working a business deal, but then it was a whole different time. Well, now as young women come into, learning and workforce and all that, they're realizing that a man is not their financial plan. And that when I look at you and I see everything you do, the education you've been in has actually been almost too easy for you. You catch on to so much so quickly. And what is wonderful about you is the poise that you have as such a young woman, that you didn't turn into a troublemaker because you caught on to things so quickly. It's like you weren't the class clown. You didn't do anything to hurt anybody else. You didn't disrupt other people's path in their learning process. So saying all that, I still haven't turned your cards over yet, and I'm going to turn your cards over in a minute. But if I could put my arms around you right now and hug you and say, one of the paths that I think you would do really well is by going to either nursing school, then medical school, then law school. And because you're that smart, people have underestimated you. You get invited to all the parties. People have underestimated you your whole life. But if I could say like this, you are capable going to nursing school, earning a shit ton of money there, going to medical school, and working as a nurse part-time while you're going to medical school. And then you will be a practicing physician. But while being a practicing physician, you go to law school part-time. And then your ultimate career would be a couple of things: defending nurses and doctors for lawsuits, right? Because you understand it at an intimate level, because you yourself were a nurse and a doctor. And now you're an attorney, right? So there's that. The other thing it can lead to is you actually going into politics, because you're a Libra. Libras are the natural politicians. They're the number 7 sign in the zodiac. And that the fact that you have been able to navigate in a very beautiful, sort of smooth sailing way all of the stupid social crap that goes along with being in school. So you've been able to navigate that without letting yourself get upset or scathed or take it personally. You just go, well, that's how they are. That has nothing to do with me. And you understood that at a very, very young age. But because when people meet you, they like you right away, I want you to work that to your benefit. So as you decide to take maybe some harder classes, instead of doing something easy because it might be fun, for you, your brain has the capacity to do so much more. I feel like I'm talking to you like I'm your Aunt Mona. So now I'm going to turn your cards over. Now, if there's a couple cards that come up, one in particular is a card called Breakthrough, which is the card of law. So I'm just going to be curious if that comes up. It didn't, but that's okay. So here's the thing. Discipline leads to your freedom. That's literally what this card says. You are incredibly self-critical. So this persona that you present to other people, you don't put your criticism on them. You take it inward. So you can always do better than you do. So when I tell you that you've been coasting, I think you kind of agree with me, because it's been easy for you. So I believe there's this man that's coming towards you here that sees what I see in you and acts as a mentor. So I don't know if you've already met him, but this is somebody that actually tells you like it is, and you respect him because I think you test people to see if they're believing the persona you're presenting, or if they actually see how bright you are. This man sees how bright you are, right? And he's the one that challenges you. I also really feel like you're willing to do all the hard work to get what you want, and you will ultimately be a catalyst for people to be in a better place. But you're also willing to put in the education and the time to do it, because you will ultimately have your own business. You will ultimately be, I'm going to use the word superstar in what you do. But I want you to know that romantic relationships are on the back burner for you for a while, because what it's saying is that the path that you have ahead of you, I believe it requires a whole lot of work. So since I'm basically the last person to your reading, what is your plan for your career?
So I'm like stuck between like a couple options, which is kind of why I came here. I still don't really know. So I actually started my own nonprofit this year, and I really like doing that. And it's just focused on like youth, giving back to the community. So it's like youth ran, youth led, youth
Okay.
volunteer. So that's like what we're doing right now.
Okay.
So I like that. I interned at City Hall, so politics. I was really interested in that.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I kind of have a semi idea, but I'm still just unsure. I'm hoping my senior year will kind of
Okay.
do things for me.
She wants to jump in, and then I got something else to say.
So you brought up law and politics. It's funny. She has this enormous stellium. Look at that.
Oh,
All
holy
that
crap.
Represents
Okay.
Libra. And so that rules politics and law. So maybe the mentor that you meet is maybe through the city hall. Maybe it's someone there. And I have to say, I think you're incredibly brilliant too. And yeah.
We're not blowing wind up your skirt, just to tell you that. But what I am getting here is that you actually become really bored with people very quickly, but they would never know it because you're still waiting for them to tell you something you don't know. So you will put up with tedious people just to see if they give you a nugget of information that you need or you know. It's a very, very natural political thing to do, to be pleasant to everybody, even if you don't find them that interesting. You're around a lot of people, but I don't think you really like a lot of people. I think you're really, really picky who truly does get your private time, which is why the romance part of your life is going to be on the back burner. And why are we giggling?
I actually have had a boyfriend for the last 3 years. So
Okay.
I think this is funny.
Well, here's what's so interesting is that he doesn't interfere with your
Yeah.
path.
That's why.
So romance is
pretty spot
it's on the back burner, which means that part of your life is not a priority.
Mhm.
If we meet, there are so many young women that I meet that are, I do graduation parties. I get hired by moms and dads to do graduation parties. And so many of these young women, and it's not so much men, it's the young women that are like, well, when am I going to meet my dream boat?
Mhm.
When am I going to meet my soulmate? When is that going to happen? Well, that means that they still have the impression that they're defining their life by who they're connected with romantically. Well, like I said, when I say your romance stuff's on the back burner, that's not the most important thing because that part of your life is satisfied. It's not coming up that way here.
Yeah.
The only thing I worry about, accidental pregnancy. Because these two cards talk about on your part unplanned pregnancy, consciously unplanned pregnancy, but any pregnancy would be basically meant to be. But I'm telling you, be careful with the birth control. Just be careful, all right? Because you got so much ahead of you right now that that would be one big distraction for you.
Mhm.
So I'm just saying, and this is saying that over the next 10 years. You put the credibility via education, experience, and contacts to make your own luck. But I do believe you meet this man that looks at you and might even ask you a tough question. And you're so delightfully surprised that he actually asked you a question like that. And that the answer that you provided showed him how smart you are. It's like you've been waiting in a way for a mentor that would ask you a question that would be hard. A lot of people would find hard to answer, but for you, it's like you've been waiting kind of your whole career focus for that question to be asked. And it's asked by somebody that is already in a position of success.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not going to be stupid and say, what do you want to be when you grow up? He's going to say something like, so what I've seen of your work here, you do this, this, and this. What are you planning on doing with it? Or have you ever thought about, and he may ask you a question about a kind of work that you didn't think about yet, but you are that bright And what you're doing now with everything you're doing, I really feel you're coasting. It's just too easy for you.
What kind of work do you do at the city? Oh, go ahead.
No.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
What kind of work do you do at City Hall?
So when I interned, we did a presentation on this thing called Southern COG. So it would be a Southern Council of Governments, and we went and presented it to the mayors of Southern Nevada to potentially form this council to focus on needs before the legislative session, so that Southern Nevada is in line and like all on the same page when they go into legislative session to make sure things are getting passed. That's what we did.
Nice. And this was youth-based?
So it was me and 2 other high school interns that worked on it.
Was it for like education, or what was it for?
So it was for just like the Las Vegas community. The secret that we really wanted to focus on was housing. So making sure people were able to actually buy houses and affordable housing was our main focus. And that was what we like centered the whole project around.
Okay. I'm glad that you said that, because when I was like picking up archaeology or something with like the land, but actually real estate falls in that. So very well, like maybe even affordable housing, like working for HUD, if you wanted to go into politics, like, or something in law with affordable housing. And there you go. Definitely real estate's connected.
Mm-hmm.
I actually bring in the archaeology through the Atlantean energy that she brings in, and that if you start reminding yourself that you can work with energy, especially in crystals and rocks, you'll see that kind of transform. I see you going to college, not so much in a career direction, but to meet these other 3 people. And if an Ivy League college is on your radar, that's where I would choose to go. It doesn't have to be one or the other. I would look to the Ivy Leagues, because these other 3 that are involved in this little group that you guys have already agreed to, they're headed more towards that, because they're more towards you. So they want a bit of a challenge, thinking that an Ivy League is going to give them that. It probably isn't, but that's a different story. I honestly, I don't see you going into law or politics, because I think you'll find that you get frustrated with it, that people can't work on the same page just yet, but that you can influence it by not backing down and standing up for what you truly believe in.
Maybe more
and your
advocacy.
energy is so powerful, people listen to it. That's all I
Maybe
have to
more
say.
like advocacy then?
No, I think it goes wherever these 4 come up with. It's going to be something new that's going to be able to bring people together to actually work together. She's good on her own, but she also sees the power and the value in working as a group. In other words, nobody's the smartest one at the table. We all have our pieces that can come together to create something spectacular.
Wasn't that fun?
That was fun. That was really interesting.
Okay. Well, we see a lot in you. So just, if you take away nothing else, but you saw a lot in me, right? That's where we're going. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
a guest on our program
Thank
today.
you.
you, sir.
Such a blessing to talk to someone so smart, so young, right? And so focused on making a difference in this world. That's just so refreshing to us.
It's also gives us all hope on what the future is going to bring, because everything in the world is falling apart right now, and your group is the part that's going to start putting it back together. And then you have the healers that know exactly what direction once the pieces are falling back together. And so it makes life, not so scary for a lot of people if they could start seeing how everything has to fall apart. It's not the way it's going right now. It's been fostered to go this way because people are unaware, haven't wanted to be aware of what's going on. But now they're waking up going, how did we get here? Well, you kept electing the same people and they did the same things, and it got worse and worse and worse. So there you go.
Okay, on that note,
Yes.
thank you
That's about all
again
I'm gonna
for
do
being our
politically.
guest. I'd like to thank Tammie and Kris for being a part of this program and having a collaboration where people can come and we can explore their possibilities and their potential here on the program. John, I'd like to thank you for allowing us to have this program on WWDBTV. You guys, If you want to be on 3, whether it's in studio, because if you ask us nicely, we'll probably make that happen for you. Go how to be on 3 on the WWTHREE.Vegas website. Fill out the little form. Put yourself in the queue about being on the program, whether it's via Zoom or here in person. But I'd like to thank everybody for being a part of this. Again, we're in season 5 right now, and we'd love to have you on the program. So until next time, be well.
The cast members of 3 are not professional attorneys, CPAs, psychologists, marriage counselors, physicians, or financial advisors. You are provided with opinions that are unique to each of the intuitive performers. 3 is presented to you for your entertainment.